I guess if I take myself back, six, 7 years, very much agreed with Tommy Robinson. Very much UKIP voter sort of bloke. British values, you know, we shouldn't be changing our restaurants to halal. We shouldn't be very much along those lines.
Oh wow.
What really seemed to annoy me, especially with alcohol, is that I felt like when I looked over my life, it's actually encouraged to me. That really annoyed me. That society is actually, they're not just saying to me, you can have a drink, and they're actually throwing it in my face. And you know, looking into Islam made me realise, well, hang on a minute, this stuff's all taught to me. It's encouraged to me from a young age. I made many mistakes that were alcohol related. I've lost money gambling, and I just thought, I need something. I need a guide.
It's a big thing to say.
Yeah,
that,
no,
you know,
it is.
that,
Yeah, no.
So you're ready to take Shahada. So we did it on the phone, but we're going to do it for thousands to see.
Yeah. If you know me, don't tell anyone.
It's between me and you. Yeah. Right, say, I bear witness.
I bear witness
That none has the right to be worshipped.
that none has the right to be worshipped
But Allah.
but Allah.
And I bear witness.
And I bear witness
That Muhammad
that Muhammad
is his last and final messenger.
is his last and final message.
Allahu Akbar.
English guy with a white beard, and you talk very well.
White beard.
A white guy with a beard,
Yeah.
and you seem very well educated. You seem very, you're not just some bloke that's got issues or anything like that. You seem very well educated, very well spoken. So you think, bloody hell, what?
People are going to say the same about you.
Yeah.
Very well spoken, because you are, in my world, before Islam, the alpha male. Literally, everyone wants to be with your friend. Everyone wants to hang around with you. You're the alpha male, yeah. So you can imagine, like, people have issues, yeah, they come into Islam. But when you see the alpha male come into Islam, it's a big thing, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a huge thing.
Yeah.
Because
I was amazed how many actual Muslims are commenting as well that aren't white, are sort of saying, "Oh, this guy." They're hearing a white guy saying something, and it's making them practice it, which is that blows my.
bro, about people.
Like you said, is it because they've got it on their doorstep that they think, well, hang on, I've got it here and I'm not using it?
But they feel like basically they're just in a religion of their parents. But when we present Islam, it's quite an exciting thing. And they're like, well, I'm a Muslim, what am I doing? Yeah? Because, and I said exactly the same thing to George. If you're not doing Islam, it's pointless being a Muslim. Because the whole point of Islam is to get the guidance, and to get the guidance you need to follow it, and if you follow it, you're Muslim. But if you claim to be a Muslim and you don't follow the guidance, what's the point? You know what I mean? It's like saying, I got a Mercedes C-Class at home, but it's got flat tyres, smashed windscreen. You know what I mean? People think, in their mind, oh, he's got a beautiful Mercedes, but you haven't, because the reality is you're not. You know what I'm saying? So, I don't know if we started filming yet. Have we started filming? Addis, are you filming? Oh,
cool.
No, I don't know. Mine is and all that business. That's me. 3, 2, 1 and all that. I did. Brother Jordan, mashallah. He took a shower last Monday, mashallah. Right. Okay. Purpose of what we're doing is
It's for you.
Jazakallah.
Sin City, mate.
Oh, he's on this. So the reason what we're doing today is, like you said, the inspiration people get, Muslims and non-Muslims. Okay. Now I said you're like alpha male, yeah. So so I know your story, but we want it so that everyone can hear your story.
Sure.
I know this is going to identify you.
That's all right.
But how does it happen? You see, how does a Western geezer get interested in Islam?
Yeah. So from the beginning, yeah.
Just basically what got you interested in it, and then how you ended up here today, for example.
Yeah. So for me, I guess if I take myself back, six, 7 years, very much agreed with Tommy Robinson. Very much UKIP voter sort of bloke. British values. You know, we shouldn't be changing our restaurants to halal. We shouldn't be very much along those lines.
Oh wow.
And you know, whilst I've never had anything personal
No more
against
mosques
Islam,
and all that.
yeah, you just think, well, hang on a minute, this is England, it's a Christian country, and even though I wasn't a Christian, I had that view.
Yeah.
And like I say, when you do think of Islam, you do think of deserts, and now people are thinking of beheadings and violence, and obviously now I know different.
Yes.
So my sister converted to Islam about 7 years ago. She wears a full hijab now and everything.
Okay, mashallah.
Not a good relationship with her. I've barely spoken to her, but I did notice that Islam changed her life. And she had a baby 6 years ago called Iman, who's obviously my niece now.
Yeah.
And Iman's my world. So that's probably the crux of all this. Is, you know, unless Iman was born, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't even looked into it.
No, I get you.
Because I've got a niece who I love, being raised as a Muslim in this world, and I thought, wow,
And you got the Tommy
I was
Robinson.
terrified. I was terrified. Yeah, I thought she's going to grow up, she's going to meet a Muslim bloke.
You're going to beat her and tie her to the kitchen sink.
She's going to have to cover her hair, you know, her beautiful hair, cover her beautiful, you know, frame and things like that. So what I started to do was, when Iman started to talk, so I guess when she was 4 or 5, I was aware I had kind of semi-prejudice views.
Okay.
So I started to look into it. So, and I started to look on YouTube. I started to research certain things that were bothering me.
Okay.
And that's where you came up a lot of the time. So you know, I'll type in "beat your wife." I'll type in women's oppression.
I see. Yeah.
I'll type in lots of things. And you come up, and obviously it hit me when I see a white guy with a beard.
A lot of people say that.
And it did. I was like, wow, what's this guy? You know, and you know, obviously, like I said, you were well spoken, seemed well educated. And yeah, fighting for kind of to tell everyone about Islam. So anyway, I noticed that any question I had was being answered. So
I see. Yeah. So, all the misconceptions.
So many, and the problem was each time I had a misconception, it would be answered, and then I'd move on to the next one. And to be honest, I was hoping to find one.
Yeah.
I was hoping to find one so I could say to my sister, "No, you can't do it."
There's the reason.
Look what I found.
To be honest with you, I fought against Islam for 2 years as well before I became Muslim. Once I submitted, trust me, there's no argument I didn't use because I didn't want to be Muslim. So
I wanted to catch Islam out completely, and I didn't. And it was over a period of time that I actually started to think, hang on a minute, what a fantastic thing that my niece is a Muslim. She's protected from certain things that I wasn't when I was younger.
Yes.
And it was a slow process, but I remember just thinking, all of a sudden, rather than being terrified about her, I was terrified for other people. I thought, wow, she's safe. And now look at all the other girls that are non-Muslim.
Yeah.
And then I started to look about, for myself as well, because, I see myself as a fairly decent citizen. But just like anyone, I like a drink and I like to gamble and I like to do all that.
Yeah. It's standard, isn't it?
Yeah, and looking into Islam made me realise, well, hang on a minute, this stuff's all taught to me, it's encouraged to me from a young age. I made many mistakes that were alcohol related. I've lost money gambling, and I just thought, I need something. I need a guide.
It's a big thing to say.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and I think generally people in my position, particularly atheists, sort of Christian blokes, they think, well, actually, I know I'm a good bloke. They class themselves as good.
The hate in society is not
what good is.
Yeah. They think by the standards of society, as long as they're not committing crime, it's all right.
Yeah, and I know that mates that drink drive home and they just forget about it. You do it and then you get away with it and you think, the next day you're a nice bloke again. So I guess it started to come, and that's when I messaged you, and I thought, hang on a minute, there's something in this for me, and I didn't want it because obviously of all the I didn't want it because I'm aware. Like I said, it's not like telling someone you're a Buddhist.
That's it. Yeah.
A bit of yoga,
a bit of yoga, and
incense sticks.
And
it's quite cool and trendy, isn't it?
Yeah. So
New Age.
Islam is not trendy at all. So it really worried me about me actually, because I felt myself getting closer to it. And then I thought, wow, but if I get too close, I'm going to be...
I've told you, there's many people I have messaging me in exactly the same position. And that's why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah.
Because you can still be a lad, but you just have your boundaries.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And then when you look at the things you can't do, and you think...
Yeah, that's right.
I don't want to be indulging in this stuff. I want to be... doing things that benefit me. And you can see the things that you're permitted to do, not as a Muslim, detrimental. You know what I mean? But it's hard, like you said, because of how Islam is painted, like, you know what I mean? So
I think what really seemed to annoy me, especially with alcohol, is that I felt like when I looked over my life, it's actually encouraged to me, that really annoyed me, that society is actually, they're not just saying to me, you can have a drink, and they're actually throwing it in my face, and it's causing me to cheat on my girlfriend, it's causing me to drive home, it's causing me to, you know, if you lose a loved one, you just go on a binge. And it's scary how close you come to losing everything.
Well, I said it to George earlier. I said, look, if you lined up all the London homeless people, guarantee you, definitely one of the 5 poisons I usually talk about will be a result of them being where they are, and then one of the poisons will be the reason why they're staying where they are. Because if someone's got themselves into a homeless situation, and but they're drinking now, you can't even help that person because they're just thinking of their next drink. And, do you know what I'm saying? And it's a cycle. And I've made a video called England Needs Islam. And what I'm basically saying is this country is sinking. The society as a whole, within society, is being corroding badly. And obviously they're trying to blame the Muslims and the immigrants and all this, but it's not that, because immigrants don't make indigenous English people drink, smoke, gamble, all this stuff. You get me? So that was one of the main things I seen in Islam, was that it combined practicality as well with the idea of a creator. Alhamdulillah. So we had the talk in the park last time. Everyone was they got all the way to the end, and then you said, oh well, and then we went for the food.
Like I said, I had no plans on even talking to anyone that day. I was hoping to sort of mingle around and then leg it off. But
it was a beautiful.
I was caught, and I watched that video back too, and I saw a lot of kind comments. I saw a lot of really nice supportive comments. And to be honest, seeing myself talk about Islam was quite an awakening as well. The way I was talking about it, and the way I obviously felt about it. And
SubhanAllah.
I mean, there were people commenting that I'm already a Muslim, and to be honest, it probably was. I just was too scared to actually openly say it.
Yeah, but a lot of people have this idea that they have to become Muslim and then overnight cut everything. You know what I mean? But it isn't the case. You know, it's. I know I've used this phrase so many times, fly don't grow in a day. Mashallah, you take a shahada, then you learn to pray. Once you learn to pray, you start to get strong. Then you start to let people slowly around you know, and then they encourage you and they support you. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is a gradual process, but we always try to say cut out the major stuff, if you can. You know what I mean? So girlfriends need to become wives, kind of thing. But we don't put pressure on nobody. We're not in a position to do so. Everyone's journey is their journey. And I always say you'll spend the rest of your life in understanding Islam. And and the other thing I'd like to clear up as well, because you might have heard me say it, is that don't read the Quran before becoming Muslim. And people have interpreted this to mean that I don't want you to see what's in the Quran. I want to kill the unbelievers wherever you find them, all of this stuff. So you become Muslim, and then you can't leave because we'll kill you if you leave. I know you understand. And all I say is don't make that the condition to become a Muslim. So you have to read all of the Quran and then decide to be a Muslim, because that's your journey anyway. So that was not last Monday before, wasn't it? I get a text from you saying I'm ready. What happened?
Yeah, so
I know I sent you some videos about life after death and the truth of life in this world.
Well, what you did was you didn't barrage me, but I had a few videos that were really shocking. And then I didn't hear from you for like 2 or 3 days. That was when I didn't hear from you. That was when I was like, I was just like walking around the streets thinking, bloody hell, what's. And
perception changes.
My perception was changing. I think the biggest thing for me, and it's probably because A, of how I used to be, and B, my niece growing up, my perception of women has changed unbelievably. I'd always walk around and objectify a woman. You see a woman, oh, she's got nice this, she's got nice that, and you just do it, and you don't think of it, and your eyes are there, and you just peer away. Now I have a completely different. I'm looking at women that may be wearing over-revealing clothes. Thinking, should be wearing this? Should be doing that?
I'd say what's funny. You said
I view them as somebody's daughter and niece now, so I don't view them as just
that's how we view
just a thing. Yeah. That's someone's daughter, that's someone's niece, and if they're wearing a hijab, for instance, I'll now see them and think, got a lovely relationship with God. Respectfully, they're just with their husband, and it's sending a different message to me than terrorism.
Well, you said something funny the other day that really resonated with me when you said about the grooming gangs.
Yeah, I
Because
know that,
you
I
said
know
that now you're a Muslim, you feel less. What was the word you used? Less likely to be a groomer or something.
Because I think if I tell anyone
Less opportunity, yeah.
I'm a Muslim, I'm sure. So if I went up to Speaker's Corner there and said I'm converting to Islam, someone would come out and say grooming gangs. Someone else would come out and say terrorism. And like I said, I'm thinking about it. I feel a lot less likely to do either of those now because of the different values I have. There's
Exactly.
no chance of me being a groomer.
Because you're going to be a groomer, you need to get the alcohol or drugs. You can't do that. Well, what do we do now?
I'm sure there are Muslims out there behaving badly, but Islam, it's completely
cut off.
Yeah.
Cut off. You can't buy alcohol or drugs. You can't be alone with the girl in the first place who's not your wife or your daughter or whatever. So just to get into that situation tells you they can't be following Islam.
Yeah.
It's something else, yeah? And do you know what? I say something really controversial about this situation. And you kind of implied it in a sense that how did 1,400 girls be in a position to be abused? They say 1,400 to shock us that, oh, these Muslims rape 1,400 girls. Scumbags are going to be scumbags, okay. Why was there 1,400 girls that no one cared for? No one cared about them until they were raped in the system, you know. And when you dig deeper, I guarantee you start looking into their family backgrounds, the 5 poisons will pop their heads up again. So this is why I say that if people embrace Islam or follow Islam, these things can't happen.
Yeah.
You know, they use this idea
Girls
that
are vulnerable, aren't they? I'm sure they were drunk, a lot of them. I'm sure probably a lot of them.
they just wanted a bit of love.
Yeah, I think
they got a bit of love. And if you think this girl's got no one taking care of her, she's vulnerable, man. You're going to prey on her. Do you know what I mean? They just want. And then what they say, this is what they try. This is the stereotype they try to say. They picked on these white English girls because they're trash. This was what they tried to portray. That they're not as valuable as Muslim girls, for example. No. We care about our daughters. We care about our nieces. We don't allow them to go randomly with guys here, there and everywhere. Do you understand? And so I think personally about that incident in Rotherham, what should have come out of it and never did, and it's a travesty. Why has society neglected these girls? And it's not just Rotherham, there's so many places that you've got vulnerable girls in homes together. Where's their families? Where's their mothers? Where's their fathers? Where's their brother? Where's their uncles? Where's their... You know what I'm saying? For me, SubhanAllah, that was something that never came out, and it always shocks me. And when anyone brings Rotherham and grooming gangs to me, I always come back straight with that.
I agree with you. I mean, what I would say is, from obviously being in the career that I'm in, I have seen cases of grooming, and it is possible to make a young girl, do things that she doesn't want to do.
Even with the alcohol thing, going in pubs and stuff, you start realising you don't want to be around people drinking alcohol.
It's happened to me twice this week, and obviously I had an award ceremony last week.
Yeah.
Wine is on the tables and things like that.
Yeah.
I didn't want to drink.
And then you start, because what happens, you see, you don't want to be in the presence of people who are drunk. Just for example, we just spoke to that geezer down there, His demeanour was because he was drunk.
Yeah.
And I can't handle that environment anymore. I really can't. I have to move away from it.
Yeah.
I have to establish, if you've been drinking, because I know he's not going to be coherent, he's going to start sky and stuff like that. Anyway, back to where we were.
Yeah.
So, here we are. So you're ready to take Shahada. So we did it on the phone, but we're going to do it for thousands to see.
Yeah. If you know me, don't tell anyone.
It's between me and you. All right, so we're everything here. So we're doing Arabic first, and then we're doing English, yeah? Okay. Say Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Right, say I bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped but Allah. And I bear witness that Muhammad is his last and final messenger. Allahu Akbar. Now we can hug him. You can hug him now. Alhamdulillah. But, yeah? Nobody tell anyone. Alhamdulillah. And it'd be nice to get everyone back together.
Yeah.
That thing I spoke about, the retreat. We as EFDAO, we're willing to sponsor you guys. It'd be nice if you just go together and experience it. But like I say, the more people like us start recognizing the truth, the more people will start recognizing the truth. And maybe 10, 15 years' time we'll have a dramatic change. Because look,
it's a hell of a battle because, like I said, without the birth of my niece, I would never have even bothered. So
subhanallah.
it's a big battle out there, and I don't feel I can tell anybody. I can't convey the message of Islam to somebody without them looking into it properly.
No.
It's
Exactly.
It's a hard thing to do.
So I will help you. You know the 2 propositions I gave you? Yeah? I will show you, if anyone comes to challenge your Islam, how you can defend those 2 propositions like that.
Yeah.
So whether the people who come to you will believe it is irrelevant.
Yeah.
But they can't show that, they can't talk about Sky Daddy and all this nonsense.
Yeah.
Do you get me? So, yeah. You know what I mean? Flower don't go in a day, just alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
But it's good to have you on board, mashallah.
No.
You know what I mean? And what I said to Angela, I said, look, what you should do, take your mum out, yeah, and say, Mum, what would you do if I told you I was gay? Right? And she goes, you'll flip. I said, oh, yeah. She's like, well, I'm not gay.
Yeah.
I'm Muslim, but I'm not gay.
Yeah. Okay.
Or say, I've become Muslim, so I'll never be gay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, what I'm saying is, gay people, they had to be in the closet, isn't it?
Yeah.
But now it's standard. Now, inshallah, Muslims are in the closet.
Yeah.
There are people who are hiding their Islam because they're afraid of reaction from their families.
Yeah. You know what?
I like
I'm in
it
a lucky
coming
position.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know you're going to get support, man.
I'm not going to lose anything. Yeah, but I'm still shit scared. I'm still,
And imagine that scenario. You're not going to lose anything. But there are people who will lose everything. I lost everything. But I'm a prime example of that. Allah fulfills His promise for me. Whatever I gave up, alhamdulillah, you know. And like when people, I've said this before, people say to me, when we're going to move to a Muslim country. I said, look, this is my country. My country's going down this one. I need to present this beautiful treasure I've found to my people.
Yeah.
Because, don't get me wrong, a Pakistani or an Arab could try and tell this to you, but it wouldn't come better than an English person coming to you with it.
Yeah.
We've got the same culture as you, the same backgrounds as you, relate to the same stories as you, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Understands the lifestyle.
Yeah.
So, that's what I do. Alhamdulillah. I love it, man. And like I said, Tom's thing. Sean, I think of Spurs maybe playing today or something, I don't know. But Sean didn't, he was supposed to come today. But you know, I can't force anyone to do anything. And if someone lets me down, I'll go, oh, you said you were Alhamdulillah.
I'll tell you what though, and this is the reason I came down is, let's say I was one of those guys that didn't bother coming down. So I've looked into Islam, I've known it's the truth, or I feel it's the truth, and I just live my life as normal.
Yeah.
That must be a horrible way to live. So I don't envy that either.
Yeah. So once you know it's true and you're not doing
Can't
it.
run away from
Subhanallah. And then you start hearing things about Islam, and then you hear your friends slagging off Islam.
Yeah.
Because like I said, I had people slagging off Islam because it was 3 weeks after 9/11, and I'm defending Islam. And they say to me, why aren't you Muslim and you believe all that? And I was like, I don't know why aren't I?
Yeah.
So non-Muslims gave me da'wah.
Yeah.
Because they made me question, well, you believe in it, why aren't you doing it?
Yeah.
Because one thing as English people love, and this is what I'll say to anyone who's on the cusp of Islam, we love integrity.
Yeah.
So if you work in an environment, and you pray 5 times a day, and you're on your religion, okay, and then you ask in the canteen, can you make halal sausage or a bit of... they don't mind. It's when you don't pray, you don't do nothing, you ask for halal. Yeah? There's no consistency there. Do you know what I'm saying? So...
do you find, and I've only noticed this today, so you know the guy with the alcohol down the bottom? Obviously, when he was having the chat, he looked at me and obviously was expecting me to say I'm not a Muslim, and I could sort of join his, that banter. As soon as I said I'm a Muslim, he's looking, but you feel this kind of, whilst he may not agree with it, there's this kind of respect because they know you're a man of morals. If you're saying something like that. I don't know if you feel that of people, or I haven't really experienced that today. But if you tell someone you're a Muslim, they know that you've given up alcohol. They know you've given up various things.
Yeah, they think you've been in prison though.
Maybe.
That's what he said to me. You've been down in the dumps because they have this idea that you'll only become Muslim because your life is miserable, and you've just looked for something to try and make your life better, and you've liked the brotherhood and all that, and you felt that you belonged nowhere before. This is how they mind, because they can't comprehend why would someone of Western origin, growing up in the West, not on the downers, want to sacrifice all the things that they enjoy. It makes no sense to them. So the only way they can rationalise it must have been in prison or this, that, the other. But like I said, even the people in prison, I get it. Because you're in prison, the life you were leading didn't work for you, mate.
Yeah.
Your life, the guidance you were following, has put you in here, mate.
Yeah.
And then when you have all the distractions stripped away, you get a chance to contemplate, think, is there another way? And then a Muslim will come along and say, look, have you heard about this, da. And they'll look into it and they say, you know what, if I followed this way, I wouldn't be in prison now, mate. Because I was on drugs when I did what I did.
Yeah.
If I followed Islam, I wouldn't have been on drugs, mate. And you realise the slippery slopes.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, they're enjoyable.
Yeah.
That's the craziness.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
think
why...
what Islam's made me do is that with the way you weigh up, don't you? You weigh up the pros and the cons, and obviously you've got a quick fix, it feels great, but when you look at the actual damage it's doing, when you have that perspective,
Completely.
it's a no-brainer. So when I had no problem saying no to drinks yesterday and the day before, I just didn't have any issue at all. It wasn't like, oh, I can have a quick one and I'll start next week.
Yeah.
It's nothing like that at all. It was
But your partner's the problem, innit?
yeah. Let's see.
Do you think she would ever accept Islam?
I don't think she'd ever accept it herself, but she may. I mean, we love
Is she
each other very
intelligent?
much. Very intelligent, very open-minded. We get on, like a house.
So why
on
wouldn't she
fire.
accept it? She loves the West.
Probably her parents are. They're not a strict Catholic, but she obviously, is from a different background. So that would be a. Yeah, to be honest, I can't say she would never would.
You never know, because I've seen transformations in girlfriends and whatever before.
Yeah.
I had this guy.
I think a Western woman wearing a hijab is a massive decision, isn't it? When they're used to going out with their mates, wearing makeup, wearing nice clothes, to suddenly cover up.
What it is, you see, we're programmed. We're all programmed, and what Islam does is deprogram you. So they say we're brainwashed. All right, I say we're brain cleansed. I say the crap I've been fed all my life has been washed away, man.
Yeah.
Now I'm replacing it with the reality. Do you get me? So when you're taught a standard like when you're 18 you should be in the pub drinking and whatever, and you're not, you're a geek or what, you know what I'm saying? This is expected of you. You turn 18, you should be in the pub, mate. If you, well, you're not having a beer, mate. You're not, do you understand? This is how we're programmed. This is how we're wired. And so once you deprogram that, the acceptance of the hijab, I said to Angela, she will crave the hijab. She will want to put that hijab on her head. She will want people to know she's Muslim. She really, really will.
That's the question I have here. I've gone.
Yeah, that's for me. You see, the hijab is her identity in the sense of she's letting people know I have a standard that's not the same as yours.
Completely.
So what you think is acceptable, I may not think is acceptable.
Yeah.
So just steady with me.
Yeah.
And at the same time, she's saying, hey, sisters, I'm your sister in Islam. So, I'll give you an example. If I seen a sister with a hijab in trouble, I'd be there, okay? If I seen a girl not with hijab, depending on the type of trouble, I'd be thinking, did she cause trouble?
Yeah.
I'd be thinking, is that a boyfriend and they're just having a tiff? I don't know, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when I see a hijab, straight away, she's my sister. Now, I guarantee if I lined up 10 muggers and said, would you mug a woman if you knew her brother, her cousins, her uncles are all around you? Definitely not. Prey on the weak, isn't it? So a Muslim woman, when she has hijab on in an Islamic environment, with Muslims are around, she has brothers and uncles and fathers everywhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as soon as someone sees a Muslim in distress, they're on it. Yeah? And like I say to you, I'm not saying that just because she's Muslim, I'd leave a non-Muslim woman and get a handbag. No, that's a completely different story. But it would make me think, what's caused it?
Yeah.
And I think that's a massive thing for the hijab. So I know what you're saying, a Western English girl, why would she do it?
Yeah.
But I could show you video after video after video after video.
I'll tell you what I think the problem is, and the problem I'm going to encounter, and you'll know more than me, because I don't really know what's going on in my head at the moment. But I don't think the problem would necessarily be her accepting it. Is can I accept somebody who doesn't know, for instance, when my morals change? I think that's and I don't know. Will I be a Muslim guy that just accepts that she maybe she doesn't have to do certain things, or will I turn into one that's no, this is what I want, this is what I want?
Well,
I don't know. I'm only a week out.
Well, I'm going to say the scariest part is this, yeah. When your values switch, they switch.
Yeah. Well, that's...
And when what you found attractive in someone before, that the value that you applied to that attraction might be different. Yeah, but you love her very much, mashallah. You're attracted to her, obviously. She's very open-minded. You get on well with her. Are you like friends as well?
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah. So there's no reason why she wouldn't come on the journey. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I always like the idea that, in a Muslim marriage, it's you against the world. This is your unit. We call it sakina.
Yeah.
Sakina's tranquility. When you go home with your wife, this is your tranquility. Alhamdulillah. But I thank Allah. I shouldn't really say this, but it's really bad to say it, especially if my ex is watching.
Yeah, I know what you're going to say.
I'm happy she didn't. Accept,
Yeah.
I'm happy she didn't agree to be with me as a Muslim, and she remained a
Have you
non-Muslim.
seen it work with other people?
In what sense? It can't
seen-
work.
Yeah.
It can't work. You mean the guy becomes Muslim and the girl becomes?
She doesn't, but they still try and.
No. I've not seen it work in a fantastic way. How can it? Your values are completely different. Yeah, you're looking at her thinking you're going to hell, mate. You are. You're thinking the way you're living is going to take you to hellfire, and then you're going to be the role model for my daughter or my kids. You're going to be their first teacher. What are you going to teach them? So this is why I said to Angela, I says in a relationship, what you start doing now, you start looking at the person and say, are you the person that's going to be the role model for my kids? Very, very important. Do I want you to be teaching my child? Yeah. Do I want my daughter looking up to you, thinking that's how I want to be when I'm older? These are the things. You get me?
Yeah.
They're tough cooking. I wouldn't make a hasty decision.
No,
Don't get me
no,
wrong. You'd get married like that, though.
Yeah.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, well, to be honest, I proposed to her and she said yes, and we're planning one.
No, what I'm saying is this: if she didn't accept it,
I see.
you'd get a wife like that, mate.
Oh,
Stunning.
I see.
No, really.
Okay.
Do you know why? Seriously. As white English reverts, we're gold dust when it comes to marriage. Seriously, people will throw their daughters, saying, please marry my daughter. Yeah. The girls themselves will want to marry you, yeah, because they know you've chosen this, so you're going to be serious about it. Don't get me wrong, not the joker girls. I'm just talking about serious girls, mashallah. So the ones that you will want to be the mothers of your children, they're the ones that will attract you to you. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And it's because you're not just, because like I said, you're alpha male within that context as well. You know, you get me tall, yes, I'm handsome. I was going to say tennis. That was going to get away, wasn't it? Yeah. But what I'm saying is, so you will not, that's not an issue for you, to be honest with you. And marriage is half your religion because it makes everything easier.
Yeah.
So, welcome to the brothers.
Thank you, brother.
Welcome to the Ummah. Did you film all that? Oh my God! Don't let your missus see that.
No.